Hello? Okay, oh, now we got some audio. Thanks, Tom. Hi, Dinosaur Toys and Merchandise. This is why I don't stream on my own. Fuck. Sorry. So I'm making Tyranid terrain out of Easter eggs. Went to the dollar store too late. They only had these ones left, so I went over to the next aisle and I found some foam fruit. This is a foam lime that I cut into, and I glued in these pieces of scything talon. Glued it to the base, put some pins in because I'm obsessive, and now I'm going to very rapidly try and make some Tyranid terrain out of it. Rapidly because I've been trying to stream all weekend, and stuff keeps coming up, and I never find the perfect window, so I keep screwing up and letting perfect get in the way of good. So this is a good stream, not a perfect stream. Be like 45 minutes or an hour. And I'm going to rapidly try and slap some stuff together, so we'll see how far we get. But thank you for joining, Tom and Dinosaur. What is it? Dinosaur Toy? Dinosaurs, Toys, and Merchandise. I don't know if we've seen you on the stream before. So thanks for joining. And Screwball69. I think you're also a first-time joiner. Thank you for flagging the no audio. Had I been streaming with a co-host, they probably would have flagged that for me. My settings are kind of messed up because I usually like pre-schedule streams, but this time I was just like, oh, what the hell, I'll just like go for it. And of course, that's not as easy as pre-scheduling. So I missed the audio cue in the shuffle. So yeah, here I've got Epoxy Sculpt, which is my sculpting material of choice when making terrain, because it's cheaper than green stuff, but it works very similarly to green stuff. Usually when I'm sculpting any of my normal stuff, I mix Epoxy Sculpt with green stuff, but in this case, I'm just going to go with Epoxy, because I'm not sure. It'll take detail very well. Like, I have a piece here that I'm working on off and on, which is like my own version, like the Tyranid box. This is all pure Epoxy Sculpt, and like it takes pretty good detail on the back there, you can see. Let them see. Oh, there's some detail there. Yeah, so it's decent on detail. But I just like the combined texture of Epoxy Sculpt and green stuff. But if I'm just like kind of doing a rough underlayer, starting layer on, like for example, this lime, it's foamy. You probably can't see how much. So I need to put like a solid layer over top of it. Yes, Screwball69, you saw it right. That is a lime. Oh, I'll show you the bag of them. I bought a bag of foam limes and a bag of foam lemons because they're the closest things to eggs that I could find in the very picked over dollar store. My house. And these two cute little eggs that we'll do some fun stuff with. I'm just mixing up the epoxy putty. I've got my Nivea lubricant on the back of my hand. Tools through it. Hello, Blitz. Welcome. VOD Goblin. Screwball, if you're a VOD Goblin, how come you're never leaving us any comments, man? You gotta leave us some comments on those VODs so we know you're out there. Appreciate you watching them, but started doing a thing now where at the end of the stream we tell people to leave random ass comments that wouldn't make sense to anyone except for if they watch the stream. So watch out for those prompts and contribute your comments. These are not exactly going to be facehugger eggs, but they're going to be inspired by facehugger eggs from the Alien film franchise. I glued this stuff earlier. I'm pretty sure it's dry now. It says. Yeah, it's pretty dry. It's dry enough. I screwed up cutting this gap for this scything talon, so I just kind of moved it. This is going to be fun to sculpt on. It's soft. Shit. Yeah, these are just monstrous scything talons that come in the Carnifex kit or Hive Tyrant kit or any other just creature. I don't even know what kit these are off of because I don't tend to use Scything Talons on my Tyranids. I don't know why, I just don't. I make other interesting things for them to use. And so I've got a box, a section of my bits box that is just pure Scything Talon. Grab these big suckers out there. I think these are like some of the largest talons you can get on the standard Tyranid kits. Not Trigon. Artifacts, Hive Tyrant. I don't know. So I think. Yeah, just putting a skin of green stuff over the foam of the slime, mostly to fill it in. And I was thinking about, when I think about like how to sculpt these, Hydra sent me pictures of these ones that Games Workshop did. Get them up here. Inspiration. Should pull them up. Okay. So here is a very shitty look at the picture that Simon sent me. Well, that's actually not too bad. So what we have here are lictor talons, like the old metal lictor talons. What we have down here, you can't really see them. They're devourers. And then they've got these kind of like windows sculpted in. I'm not going to do it exactly, but this is how it lines up top. You can see you can kind of see there's like 6 talons are right around the outside. And then the devourers are in between. So I don't know, something like that. So what I was envisioning doing was doing something. Had this texture in my head. Edged texture. Your finger is a great sculpting tool. You just lube it up with some Nivea. Sculpting. A real big spoon tool. I want this to kind of stretch skin, but up at the edges. It's working a little less good on this side because that's where I had the gap that I had to fill. Down in there. Actually, maybe I should make it stretch so it bows up and down. How was everyone's Easter? Did you get any hobby in? Make any creepy egg or also haven't really decided what I'm going to do down at this end of. Oh no, lime skin throw. I'm not going to be as on top of chat as normally are because I see. Hence why I didn't say there was no sound. A lot of my plans come from just seeing Okay, and then scan it. No idea. I think the skin is like. I think it'll take painted. Oh look, I've got some weird alien skin texture. Skin. So yeah, I was supposed to. I couldn't stream with Hydra and Flinthammer on Friday, because Nora and I were out, and then I was like, let's stream on Saturday, and then like I did a lot of errands on Saturday morning. My bung leg started acting up, so I was not able to sit at a desk. I was like, I'm going to stream this morning, and then I had stuff to do this morning, and now I'm like, I'm streaming now before I go meet my cousin. Pick up dinner to come back to our house because I'm still not very mobile. Just making these a little wider as I go down. The space is wider. Down. This is one of my favorite sculpting tools. You can only buy it in Germany. I keep trying to set up some kind of distribution system with Hydra, but Hydra's a very busy man. But one day, not anyone. Friends of the stream who are willing to pay for them because I will be importing them from Germany. Silly. Don't tell Trump. I'm not in America. It's fine. Okay, this one's going to be fucked. Need more put. What's going on in the chat? Oh, Screwball's going to watch the VOD later. Okay, well, Screwball, you need to leave us a comment when you get to the end of the VOD. I don't know what that comment prompt will be, but we're going to give you one. That we know you made it, and we know you got to the end. I'm going to fill some more space here because that gap is easy. Reestablish texture, whatever I'm working on. God, why is so much? Not cat hair or weird black hair I have on the. Some puckered skin action over here because of the space. First time joiner, Void Goblin. Okay, I like the term Vod Goblin. Yeah, Vod Goblin's a good term. Thanks, Screwball. Hello, Blitz. It's not a real lime. It's made of foam. Tom's saying he dislikes the lore that most Tyranids don't lay eggs. Yeah, I don't know. I understand that we don't want Tyranids to be straight up xenomorphs, and I can understand why they would make the lore that they don't lay eggs. These are less, like, these are going to look like egg shapes. They're not actual Tyranid eggs in my mind. They're just egg-shaped Tyranid structures. Can't remember what stream it was on, but on a recent stream, I was working on that other piece of Tyranid terrain I showed at the beginning, and we were looking at the other pieces of Tyranid terrain that previewed in that Kill Team box. The Tyranid terrain that I hate, but apparently people who comment on my community posts on my Facebook don't think is that not my Facebook. Oh God, gross. On my YouTube, they don't think it's that bad. I'm like, God, please hate this terrain, and they're like, I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm like, you're all blind. You're the worst. When we were looking at that terrain, one of the very lovely stream hosts suggested that there's this thing that had like these kind of, it looked like a bunch of forge-wood spore chimneys like shoved together like this, and there was just some like webbing between them. And then I think it was with on the creature conference, it was suggested that maybe we could do I could do a version of that classic piece of Tyranid terrain that the Games Workshop studio created that was never available to buy, but that Hydra randomly got as a trophy at the second Tyrannic War at Nottingham, I think. Yeah, that bringing that piece of old Tyranid terrain back to show folks. So this is my version of that old piece of Tyranid terrain that we're working on here. And it looks like an egg. I don't know if it's officially a Tyranid egg. I want it to look creepy and Tyranidy and better than the crap in that Kill Team box. Pretty well. Playing with the pattern, the textures as they naturally show up. So I don't know what the lore is on Tyranid eggs. If you wanted that, you got to talk to Highfleet Bargeist. Highfleet Bargeist is the David Attenborough of Tyranids, a repository of a lot of amazing Tyranid lore. Sure, Highfleet Bargeist could tell us what the deal is with Tyranids laying eggs. Sometimes joins the streams. Not that often. He is on our server. So Tom, you should ask him in the Discord. You should mention Highfleet Bargeist, maybe in the Stream Thoughts sub-channel, and just be like, hey, Bargeist, on the stream, we were talking about Tyranid eggs. What the lore basis for this will also know. Thank you. This is looking pretty cool. See? Epoxy Sculpt. It still does cool stuff. Even without green stuff. I realized the power of Epoxy Sculpt in 2009 when we were working on the Infestation... Oh no, sorry, 2008. When we were working on the Infestation of Castlevant Prime table for Games Day Toronto with my dear hobby buddy, the late Accommodator. Late because he died. And yeah, I just because we were working at such scale to build like this team, I didn't have enough green stuff, so I just went balls to the wall all the way with Epoxy Sculpt and realized just how capable it is on its own. So because I don't really know what I'm doing down here, I'm going to bulk up these sections so that I can do stretched skin things in between, because I don't. So maybe I'm going to force myself to figure out what I'm doing with the bottom of these siding tiles. I thought about just putting like tubing, but I feel like that's a little... Maybe I'll just leave it not that high, and then I sculpt something else over it. Big spoon. This is another tool that I've been trying to source forever, which is the most beautiful metal spoon tool ever. And I believe I found a source for it from a dental supply company. I had to buy like 5 of them to find the right one that made me happy. And they're out of stock. So I'm waiting until they get them back in stock, and then I'm buying a bunch, and then I can make them available for a price. They cost about $10 or $12 Canadian, plus shipping, and then tax, so I will recoup that. Not terribly expensive. It's a very good tool. I have this is my very first spoon tool I ever used when sculpting. Look, there's all kind of gnarly epoxy sculpt shoved in there. I don't know. Yep. This I stole from my brother, and he got it from a place called Active Surplus in Toronto, and this spoon is the most pleasant spoon I've ever used until I found this one. So I've literally been looking for this for like 20 years. So I do that work so you don't have to. They're in stock. I'll buy a bunch and let people on the Discord know if they want them. And my goal is to be able to put together like a sculpting tool, I don't know, starter kit, but like what I would tell you is the best collection of sculpting found in one place, because I source them from a bunch of different places, i.e. Germany and buy places. But yeah, the goal is to put that together, get available. Here I'm just trying to like sculpt in the bottom so that it is kind of like a rough egg shape. So I want it to like taper in here. This is already looking pretty. Get some on the other side. What's right? Oh, and there goes my hot water bottle on my leg. Fantastic. I didn't bump the camera. Great. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Well, I might be able to stream a little longer. I just realized that Nora's getting home earlier than expected, and my cousin just said that his dad could drive him and Nora to get there. Although Nora will, knowing Nora, be like, we'll just pay for delivery. Like, no, I was going to go pick it up to, save on delivery, but I mean, I guess I could just send my cousin and my uncle to pick up the food, but, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be that guy. Actually, that's probably the smartest solution. Ask him if he's willing to go. My uncle's a nice guy. My cousin isn't. So my cousin is actually one of the people who got me into 40K in the first place. I had 3 friends who got me into 40K. First was, well, 2 people, Grant and Michael Bobby. Yeah, that's right, I'm doxing people. Who I lived with when I was a wee lad. And Grant was my age, and Michael was his older brother, and Michael was into like D&D and stuff like that. And he would actually like, I don't know, man. My kid brain remembers Michael Bobby drawing like characters for D&D that were like better quality than what Jess Goodwin puts out. Probably that's just like kid glasses being like, you're the best drawer in the world. But like, I swear to God, his like pencil drawings of D&D characters were next level. So he got into 40K, and we didn't do anything with it but go and gawk at all his models. And of course, his parents were artists, so his mom Janice would like paint for him. And again, kid glasses. I'm like, these are the most beautiful miniatures that have ever been painted in my entire life. So they had an amazing board in their basement. Again, kid glasses. Probably was just a normal board. But I swear to God, his parents were artists and they made him board. And he had like the RTB Space Marines. They were painted in like the original like brown and blue colors. I don't even know if that was an original Ultramarine scheme or whatever. But yeah, that was the first time I ever saw 40K. Like, this is cool. And of course they had Harlequins, so I was sold. Like, those Space Marines are pretty cool, but let me have a look at those weird space elves. And then that was my first introduction. Then we moved away from there. And then later on, my buddy Mika, he got like 2 orcs somehow. And he was like, he's like, we're going to paint these orcs. And I don't even know if we like primed them or if we just started slopping white paint on them. But we tried to paint some orcs. They were like the old pewter, I don't know, power army kind of orcs. I think mine had like a Mega Man blaster built into its arm. Still love that orc. I didn't keep it. He kept it. But, like, that was the one I painted. And yeah, that was interesting. And then going back to Cousin Will and his brother Adam, they got a 2nd edition starter set for Christmas. And I remember trying to play 40K when we were kids at their house. But we didn't, of course, if anyone who's tried to play 40K when they were a kid and they didn't know anything rules knows that it doesn't go well. And we had the orcs, but we didn't know to use the cutout dreadnought thing that came with them in the box. It was just like the normal orcs versus the Space Marines. And the normal orcs are hideously outmatched by the Space Marines. If you don't use the Dreadnought, they're probably still hideous. Good guys. Space Marines. Try. And then also I think they had a rhino. Like they'd gotten, their parents had gotten, Will and Adam had all the cool. They had like all this. They had both like PlayStation and 64, like, you know, and awesome computer games. They had all the cool shit. So their parents had gotten them the starter set, and they'd also gotten them a rhino. But we didn't really know how the rhino worked. I think it only had filters or something. Still, the Space Marines had a lot of juice, and the Orcs had no juice. And knowing Adam and William, Adam decided that he was going to play Space Marines, and he made me and Will play Orcs. Because that was how Adam rolled. He was the older one, and me and Will were same age, and you know, he took advantage of his position of power. So yeah, that was where me and Will, my cousin, got into kind of some Warhammer, and I didn't actually start collecting until well after that. But still in second edition, I guess. I guess that was early second edition. Started second edition. But Will has always maintained like an interest in Warhammer, and one of the first games of Kill Team I ever played was with Will, where I had the rules, and we were like reading the rule book and like trying to figure out like whether something was obscured or not. And like Will's got like a mass. I've told this story before. But Will's got a master's. He's got some PhDs. He's an ER doctor. Like he's got some smarts on him. This kid. And the two of us and a whiteboard could not figure out obscured, like this stupid rule for like whether your unit's obscured in the last edition of Kill Team. So what does that tell you about how complicated Kill Team is? Kill Team's fun. I like Kill Team. I like it better than 40k, that's for sure. But that figuring out that rule was not fun. But just call up that example to illustrate that Will is still Warhammer curious, despite not having models. But at Christmas, I you know, may have bought him some models. Hopefully, give him something to do when he's being stressed out of his mind. Yeah. So seeing him tonight. Lives in the U.S., but he's down. He just telling some stories about. I always do these like solo streams. I'm like, what the hell am I going to talk about? Fill the air. My mouth. Probably people are saying really interesting things in the chat. Also, message Will and ask if. I'll keep streaming. Oh, Will actually watches these streams sometimes. Hopefully, he doesn't mind me doxing him and sort of talking about our. So I had them going like smaller to larger, and then I thought that like from that one I should kind of like go back because but isn't this already looking better than that stupid junk in that stupid box set? Come on, give it to me. Tell me this is worthwhile. Yeah, so you can see here I'm just doing like this stretch skin stuff. I mostly just use this silicone shaper, though you can't get these exact bullet shaped shapers from Royal Sovereign. You can get stuff that's close. You can use a spoon tool like this. You could use like a thinner part of a spoon tool. You actually, what I would recommend is if you're trying to do stuff like this, get a ball burnisher tool, which you get at art supply stores. These are in like the embossing section because these are embossing tools, and you could totally do that and like roll this across here to get this texture. I just went this. Make sure it's well lubed, not silicone. Or you can go bup, 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 and it gives like a different texture. Yeah, and similarly, like I was doing with that silicone shaper, if you take these and you just like go into the corners with them, that's another way to get this kind of pulling puckered skin. And if that's too big, you go around the other side, you lube it up with your Nivea, and then You can drag it, but it tends to leave like. Actually, this is a really good thing for getting this kind of like effect going in with one of the others. Probably better than what I. They come in different sizes. Like I have this tool that has 2 different sizes on it, and then I have another one here that has like even smaller balls on it. Let's see, all different sizes. Here, because that looked really good. Also, fun fact: I've been watching The Sopranos. With my busted leg, I've seen Sopranos. Like, oh, maybe I'll give this a go. Oh crap! Only on season 3. Don't post any spoilers. Okay, so here's how I do it if I was doing the. This is, I need to get that same kind of effect. Lube it up very well. Your Nivea. And like that, and then you can take it along. Skin. Yeah, Sopranos. My favorite character is Chris. Is everyone's favorite character Christopher? I don't know. It's probably because he's in White Lotus, another thing that I binged the crap out of. That was the one I was mainly binging when. But yeah, the actor who played Christopher Sopranos is in the 2nd season of White Lotus. I think so. Yeah, it's weird to see him like old, and then because it was filmed like, and then to go back and watch The Sopranos and like he's like young. Little wild. Yeah, I like Christopher, and then I like Silvio, the one who's played by Steve Van Zandt or whatever his name is. Guy who always does the impression of the Godfather impressions. Okay, so now I'm getting pretty happy with like where this is at. And now we got to do the important thing, which is put it down and not touch it anymore, because you're going to screw it up if you keep trying to sculpt. Because I want to go around and I want to sculpt like the other sections. But the rule of sculpting is that if you're happy with something, you need to stop, because you will inadvertently go back and finger in it. Stop. Some extra here. Add what? Away. The key to sculpting is doing it in layers. Just like you paint in layers, where you do a base coat and then you highlight or a dry brush or whatever, and then you like do a wash and stuff like that. Same thing with sculpting. But you do like a base layer, and then you can come in and on top of it. Here, I sculpted the full detail layer in. Probably won't come back and do another detail layer on this, because this is going pretty well. But you could go in and like rough in some detail and then put detail, rough in some substructure and then put detail over it. So like here, what I'm doing is building up some kind of substructure to get like the shape I want here, but I'm not gonna put the detail. Well, I could do the old modern synthesis original and just put a spinal column there, because like that is where we're already headed. And I mean, it could work. Fuck it, I'm just gonna do that. Don't let perfect get in the way of good. Let's be fast. Like Tyranids don't have spinal columns on them, but I put all kinds of spinal columns on Tyranid. Fun organic structure that I happily carry over from Covenant. Start. sure this column lines up with Alan. I mean, it's not technically a spinal structure. The other show I've been binging, States Hospital, is The Pit, which is a healthcare drama thing, which is not something I would normally watch. Like I watch me some. I mean, I watched some Grey's Anatomy in the bad old days because the cute girls I wanted to hang out with in Grey's Anatomy. So, but I've never been into medical dramas. I didn't watch ER. I think my brother watched ER. But The Pit is a medical drama set in an ER. The pit that they're talking about is a slang term for the ER at this Pittsburgh hospital. Yeah, so it portrays like what life is like for doctors in an emergency room. It's very It's a pretty stressful show. There's like blood and stuff. They show you procedures. The special effects is pretty convincing. And yeah, my cousin recommended it to me because he's like, hey, if you want to know like what my life is like in the ER, like this show is pretty accurate. So watched it with Nora, and it was really good. And I really enjoy it. It's like one of my favorite shows that I've watched this year. Weird because medical drama not something I would normally be into, but it's really cool in that you got like the standard like jock doctor dudes who are like, yeah, I'm like king shit, but then like it also at points it calls like the jock doctor dudes on their shit and like, hey, you got to be like more careful. And there's like different doctors that portray like different styles of like relating to patients. Like there's one who's like very patient with patients and like wants to like understand like where they're coming from and stuff like that, and she's always getting shit from the other doctors because they're like she's too slow. And then there's one of our favorite doctors is Dr. King, who's neurodivergent herself, working as a doctor, and her like superpower is that she like understands patients who come in and who are neurodivergent, and she's like smarter like how she works with them and like her bedside manner. So yeah, damn good show. Highly recommend it, but don't go into it if you can't take stressful shows. Stressful. And the coolest thing about it is that if you ever watched 24 with Jack Bauer, I don't love 24. I mean, I watched it, but the thing that The Pit does that's reminiscent of 24 is that each episode is only 1 hour, and the whole season is supposed to be just one shift in the CR. So you watch the first episode, and the first episode is like 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. And then like whatever happens there, and then the episode ends, and the next episode is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And so the patients that are in one episode carry over to the other episodes, and like it's always the same doctors and nurses who are working through their shift, and then like through as the shift goes on, you can see they get like tired and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think that's really cool. Oh God. What's going on in the chat? Okay, don't lay eggs. That's where we got to. Egg laying, extra steps. Crute don't lay eggs when I feel like they 100% should. Yeah, they're bird boys, you know, but they're alien bird boys. So if they laid eggs, that would be a little too terrestrial, I would say. Oh, Tom Wilson, good luck with your furniture restoration. I saw some of your pictures from going to Salute, mentioned last week. Hope you had a good time. Tell us the one thing you thought was coolest at Salute in the chat. Devin Case Beer, I'm cutting in and out. That's probably because I was like leaning over here and talking over here, which is not great. I need to be over here by the microphone. And when I'm sculpting, I'm like looking down over here. So, oh, maybe I can move the microphone. I mean, it's not like it's on a big fucking arm or anything. Shit, sorry. All right, I'm gonna move this. That is gonna be better, I think. Hopefully not worse. Shout out to Between the Bolter and Me, my hobby brothers from another mother, who care about audio a shitload more than I do. I am a visual person. Sorry, that might be touching the microphone. I'm a visual person. I'm a video person. I take pictures. I don't do anything audio related. Okay, this should be better. And because I don't do anything audio related, I'm not sensitive to audio elements. However, it's been proven that when creating content on the internet, if you want to be an internet content creator, it is far more important that you have good audio than good video, because your audience will tolerate shitty video. They will not tolerate shitty audio nearly as well, which I should have known. But anyway, fortunately, my friends care about this more than I do. And they're like, you need to get like an arm for your mic and you need to set it up in such and such a way. So if my audio ever sounds good on this, it's to thank the Between the Bolter and Me guys. And if my audio ever sounds shit on this, it's really my own fault. All right, so hopefully I will cut in and out less now. I'm sorry if you made that comment and then you were like, why doesn't he check the comments? He's got to know that he's cutting in and out. You probably just left. But hopefully you're still here, and hopefully you can tell me if it sounds any better here. Try it. Okay. What else we got in here? Oh, and welcome, Devin K. Spare. I'm sorry your first time on the stream is listening to my shitty audio. I don't think we've seen you here before. Ragin Stormwing, who we've not seen before, or Raijin Stormwing. Turvagon Sack Terrain Sculpting inspired me to add one onto my Hierophant base. Nice! In the Kit Bash Reclamation Pool, I have it stepping in. Amazing. Happy to hear it. Tom Wilson says, I think only termagants lay eggs in lore. Termagants would not be something that I would expect to lay eggs. That's really weird. Turn this off. Oh, Tom Wilson says, before I was diagnosed for gout, when I would be randomly out of action with a foot I couldn't walk on for up to a week. You have my sympathies. Thanks, buddy. Hello, Diana. Welcome. Yes, as Diana says, if you're watching this stream and you love the fact that I fixed my audio, please don't forget to like the stream. If you're leaving a comment, I know you've already subscribed, because only folks who have subscribed can leave a comment. But if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because we normally do streams every... Get this in here. Every Wednesday. Sorry, I shouldn't say every. Alternating Wednesdays and Fridays. Friday of one week, I'm on with Flynnhammer and Hydra for the Creature Conference. And Wednesdays of the following week, I will be on with Tactical D-Bag, Voices on Silent, and Kajan, who's here in the chat, for Work in Progress Wednesday stream. Yeah, and sometimes the Agent of Chaos himself, Symbio Joe, will just make his presence known on whatever stream he feels like. So he's the little bonus gift that keeps on giving. But yeah, we stream normally. And I am also working, as I'm working on this, I'm also recording on my camera so that I can make this into a video on creating Tyranid terrain, which is what I'm doing that other egg sack thing. So, Kajan, Kajan, you just asked, so I should show you, because I mentioned at the beginning of the stream. It is not the weird lime that you get for concentrated lime juice. That is a very good question. It is one of these. So this is like, these are foam lemons that I bought, decorative fruits that I bought at Dollarama here in Toronto. They're foam inside. The outside is like a weird plastic skin. Like I cut through it to put those scything talons in, and it's like a stretchy kind of rubbery skin. So I got a bag of limes, and a bag of lemons, and I got a bag of limes, and this is one of the limes that I took out and cut off the bottom of. So there's your comparison. And that was simply because I went to the dollar store and I'm like, I'm gonna buy Easter eggs because it's Easter and the dollar store has Easter stuff. However, I went on Saturday and all I could find is literally this one bag of like, these are hollow plastic ornaments. They have little strings in them. This one is kind of bigger than what I went with here. I didn't have the quite right base to mount it. So I will do something with this. But I found these, and then I was like, wait, I should just wander through the rest of the dollar store to see if they have anything else egg-shaped, like in the toy section or anything like that. And the best I found was a lime. And a lime is kind of an egg shape. You know, you cut it off. So that's why I'm working with a lime here. It's probably really weird. Okay, I'm going to take my own advice. I'm super chuffed, as you limeys would say. As you limeys would say. Ah! See what I did there? Might fill these gaps while I'm here. I'm super chuffed with this lime. So I'm going to move on to these guys. But before I do that, I'm going to fill some gaps. Actually, before that, I'm going to call my cousin to see if he will pick up food. Text my cousin. Wish I had something to enter. So I will be right back. Still here, one sec. Let's see. Oh, amazing! Cousin is the. Did I mention my cousin's the best? Um, sec. What are you growling at? It's Mama. Oh, there's the dog. I'm streaming. Hello, welcome home. Sorry about the dog barks. I don't know if they're showing up. Yeah, Sasha's interested in them. That's why they're up there. Well, I'm streaming right now, FYI. I don't know if your voice is coming through. Just wanted you to know. Okay. So I am a genius, and instead of me going to get Will and get the food, Will's father is driving him over here. So Will's going to get the food. Bring it here. Sound good? Nora? Is it okay if Will picks up the food and brings it here? Rather than me going to get it? Yeah, his dad's going to drive him. Sweet. And then I can keep streaming. Yeah. Think so? All right, I'm going to look at this chat quickly. Being boring. Oh, Diana's got it. Foam lime. Those ball tip tools are sold as nail art tools. Yes, Tom, I think you even mentioned that before. That if anyone's looking for these, the ball burnisher tools with little balls on the end, they're nail art tools that they're plentiful. Hello, Electro Dust Bunny. Welcome. Scrubs is hilarious. Seminars I watched. Oh, okay. So Tom Wilson had the best time at the seminars. At Salute, that's good. Well, Bill making stuff would have been see and time fill. And audio's been fine since I turned it on. Yeah, thanks, Tom. I had the audio off at the beginning of the stream. Well, I'm gonna try and I think I can edit it after I post it, so I can delete that part because I don't want it to start with a there. 2 to 3. Nice find on decorative fruit, but the lime juice packaging would probably also work for people that can't. Yes, you're right. Typically, if you buy concentrated lime juice for anything, it comes in a hard plastic lime, and that would probably be easier than this because this is like a soft yielding foam lime with like a vinyl skin on it or something like that. So the plastic one, but it would also be more expensive because you have to buy lime juice, whereas you can buy like two of these was like $2, so I don't know. Oh, Radon's back. Radon was in, traveled to a faraway place that was like a 15-hour flight, so welcome back. Flynn Hammer is here as well. Wow, Flynn. Hey, buddy. Hold on. Go order some Thai food. Lynn, let me know if you want to jump in here. Because I don't know what your plan is for this evening. You have work tomorrow. I don't know how late you're staying up. But if you wanted to... What I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump in our audio thing. And if you want to come on and help with chat stuff, you can go right ahead. Set up all the... So Will requested beef grapau. Okay. We'll do mild. Do mild everything. All right. I'm going to go no audio for a bit, friends. So please entertain. Here's my thing. Here's my thing. Through a writing device. Hey, I thought you said you had to go to work.
It's not Flynn. Hi.
What the heck? Oh, it's Kajan. Kajan, you there?
Yeah.
Why am I... Oh, wait, my audio's messed. What? My audio really low? Switch. Settings. What the heck? Reason I can't hear.
Okay.
Audios? Hello, Kajan. Can you say something?
Yeah. I'm here. Can you
Kajan,
hear
can you
me?
say something now? Oh, is it because I'm on Do Not Disturb? Hold on a sec. All right. Can you try saying something now?
Yeah, I can try to say something.
Oh, that's not what I want. Swear to... Oh, whoops. Okay, here we go.
Test 1, 2, 3.
All right. I'm going to put it on mute for a second. I'll be right back. And I will try to get Kajan in here, maybe. Click on this. We'll go here. We'll go output device. Yes, my stupid computer. Sorry, Kajan. My stupid computer was outputting to my microphone because it fucking loves to do that. And I have no idea why. Yes, my microphone does have an audio jack in it. No, I never use it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, do you have to run or can you stay on for a little bit?
No, I can stay on for a while.
Okay.
I figured since Flynn can't.
Well, thanks. Oh, wait. Can you say something again?
Yeah, I can.
Oh, I turned...
What would you like me to say?
Sorry, I was turning down your output volume for me because my computer is a deer, but then it turns down your output volume in the stream and no... Okay, I'm going to mute myself for a second and order some Thai food, and I'll be right back.
Yeah, you do that.
Thanks.
And sorry everyone in the stream. So Radon, how was your... Oh, okay, well, that answers my question how your trip was. So it was a fun trip. It looked gorgeous in the, from the pictures you posted. And yeah, Tom Wilson, I should be doing something with those lime packages, but the problem is usually buy lime juice that's not concentrated, but kind of fresh pressed, because I'm using so much of it. But that doesn't mean I couldn't go concentrated for a while, and get some of those packaging, because that's looking like a nice structure he's building there. Yeah, right. I also have that gene. It's making cilantro taste like soap. At least you can still eat the root. The powdered stuff still works and tastes fine, at least for me. Of course, the question is, can you guys even hear me? I guess not. Okay, you can hear me. So, what's everybody up to? I mean, hobby-wise, what are you guys up to? Early dinner. Okay. What are we having for dinner, Blitz? Mr. Pink, can you hear us? I guess not. Double-sided gaming board. That sounds interesting. So is it modular, or what kind of gaming board is it, Glenn? And Tom, what are you working on with your Space Wolves? That sounds interesting. Radon, the short story about Nits fighting Space Marines. What kind of Space Marines are they fighting? Well, I mean, yeah, I know you have decided, but I mean, is it just a scout force, or more like full blown trying to stop an invasion, sending everything in the kitchen sink?
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, welcome back.
I heard you talking to Radon about.
I didn't just talk with Red, basically with everybody in chat.
Thanks.
And Electro Dust Bunny is working on his new Tyranid. I assume that's the one he posted, the non-queen and stuff like that.
I haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to go look at that.
He was proud to have saved up some money to buy some boxes.
Sweet.
And
Congratulations.
it was a Hive Tyrant and stuff.
Cool. How are you doing, Kajan?
I'm doing fine. Nice long weekend.
Good. Okay, so in Germany, how long a weekend do you guys get?
Well, we have a public holiday on Friday and Monday.
Oh, same for me. Although in Canada, people typically only get the Friday. And some businesses, banks, schools are off on the Monday as well. My employer, I'm very lucky. They also give us the Monday off. But
I'm
it's
not
rare.
entirely
Like,
sure if
Nora had to work today.
Oh, okay. I'm not entirely sure if it's all of Germany, but I'm living in one of the states where we have one of the most holidays because of religion
Yep.
stuff. And
Wait, is that you're not Bavaria, are you? Are you in Bavaria?
no, I'm not. No, no.
Okay.
Oh God, no.
I know Bavaria is a dirty word, but I also know that Simon tells me that Bavaria is a very special place with a lot of weird, special stuff
Yeah,
going on.
Bavaria is a very special place. It's the Texas of Germany.
Yeah. But we so we have Alberta, which is the Texas of Canada, but then we have Quebec, which is sounds like it might be the Bavaria of Canada in the like special cultural significance stuff. Getting
Yeah.
treated differently for cultural reasons.
I mean, it annoys me mostly because everybody knows the Oktoberfest and that's in Bavaria. And
Yeah, we've talked about that, right?
yeah,
That's the German culture that everyone knows.
yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I have a couple of friends from Bavaria, so it's not like they're all bad.
What do folks in the chat know about Canadian culture? I'm really curious to hear what stereotypes you know about Canadian culture. Like not like the like Canadians like say sorry a lot and I don't know, are polite or some shit. But like weird Canadian cultural stuff. Just like hit me up with your weird Canadian culture stuff. I'm assuming it's gonna be Mounties and ice hockey. But maybe I'll be surprised.
Well, my entire knowledge is what was that show, Mountie in America or something like that.
Is that what it was called in Germany?
I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
So the real name for it was Due South, and it was about a
okay.
a member of the Canadian Mounted Police. We just call them RCMP here, and who is working Chicago, I think.
Yeah, I think something like that.
As a cop, which is hilarious because the whole thing was shot in Toronto. But yeah, that for some reason that got distributed. I guess because people know about Mounties. There's an answer to my question. People know about Mounties because of Due South.
Yeah, and lumberjacks.
Oh, that's a good one. I've never met one in my life.
But yeah, other than that, I don't know anything except, of course, the two languages deal thing,
French
where
and
you
English.
have basically, as I understand it, you even have two parliaments, something like that.
No.
First they have the French speaking one, and then the English speaking one.
Not. No.
Okay.
Like the politicians need to well, I don't know that all politicians need to speak both official languages, French and English. But like, for example, if you want to be prime minister, you have to be able to speak French. It's not like an official rule, it's an unofficial rule, but there was someone who wanted to run for leadership of the Liberal Party, because we're currently in an election and we had to like replace Justin Trudeau as the leader of the Liberal Party, but she couldn't run because her French was terrible. And the guy who's currently people think is in first place, Mark Carney, his French is not great, but he's got some.
Yeah, I listened to an interview with him just
in French?
a couple of days ago. No, in English.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's an interesting guy because he's up against the leader of the Conservative Party, Pierre Poilievre, who very much wants to be like Canada Trump, except for he's like younger and he's never done anything in his life but be a politician. Like literally, that's all he's ever done. He got elected at like 23. And he wants to be prime minister. And he's like, but he was very sure to win 6 months ago when it was supposed to be him versus Justin Trudeau because everyone was so tired of Justin Trudeau. But then Justin Trudeau quit, and then they had a leadership race, and then Mark Carney, who Justin Trudeau wanted to like be part of his parliament, but then Mark Carney said no. Mark Carney is now like the leader of the Liberals. He was chosen as their leader, and as soon as he became the leader, the approval rating for the Liberals like shifted something like 20 or 30% higher than what it had been.
Okay.
And as Donald Trump did more and more nonsense, Canadians were less and less. I heard someone explain it. It was really interesting. They said that like when Pierre Poilievre was really popular and Justin Trudeau was very unpopular, Canadians were focusing on like what was going on here in Canada. But as Trump has like come to power and like his nonsense with wanting to annex Canada and wanting to like have all these tariffs has forced Canadians to think more widely like about the Canadian position on the world stage. And whereas people thought that this Pierre Poilievre conservative guy was going to be really good at like sticking it to like Justin Trudeau in Canada, like with Canadian issues and Canadian politics and stuff like that, they don't want him to be in charge when Trump's in power. Like they don't think that he would be the best person to fight Trump. And people are starting to think that this Mark Carney guy is a better person to fight Trump. And to look at the Liberal campaign, it's very clear that the Liberals are like, wait, what? People are onto it, are open to having us again. And it very much seems like they're trying to say as little as they can. Like Mark Carney was elected leader of the party like pretty much a month ago. And he's only been around for a month. And people know him for like, he used to work as like a head
Bank of
banker.
England and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, for like Bank of Canada, Bank of England. So people know that he's like got like financial chops or whatever. But it very much seems like the Liberals are just trying to race into this election as fast as possible while he's still a shiny new thing so that they can win while he's still a shiny new thing. And hopefully he's better for the country. At this point, I just don't want that conservative asshole.
Yeah,
unfortunately, like the party that I'm more aligned with is, we call it the National Democratic Party. They're like the furthest left leaning of the main parties. But their leader, they've had the same leader for a long time now, Jagmeet Singh, and they haven't done anything really new or different. And though they did accomplish some stuff when like Trudeau was in power, they haven't really defined themselves. And I don't know, it's just disappointing that like they're not doing better. But it's also the case that people have argued that when that party does better, it splits the progressive vote and it allows conservatives to win. So, sorry, this is your deep dive into Canadian politics that you didn't think you needed.
And meanwhile, we have some answers in chat about Canadian culture.
Oh yeah, I want to hear them. Hit me up.
But first, we're going to go a real quick sidetrack. Diana said her idea of German culture is Wacken. And Wacken is a metal festival in Germany.
Oh, cool.
With lots of goth vibes and stuff like that. So
have you ever been?
No, I always wanted to go, but it never panned out.
Where is it hosted?
In the city Wacken, I believe. I could be wrong.
Whereabouts? Sorry.
I believe it's the city. It's a small village. I believe it's also called the same way. But
the name of the festival is the name of the place.
Yeah, it's a municipality. It's a whole. It's the city.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Wacken is the municipality. So, sorry, that's
okay.
far from here. But yeah, I always wanted to go, but never panned out because it's like on the other side of Germany.
Oh, okay. It's a long way
for me.
Yeah,
it's famous for like it's a whole the town is a really small village, like 500 people, 1,000 people, something like that.
Whoa.
It's a really small village, and they have and they're famous for this metal concert festival thing.
Wow.
And you have like 100,000 people descending on this area at one time in the year, and you have the biggest metal bands playing on their stage, and everybody's camping out in the fields, and the people that live there actually support this festival. and so
Cool.
you have the people that live there. There were stories when it was really bad about the residents going out and with towels because it was raining so much, and all the grasslands turned into a mud field basically. So they went out and helped people out that
Oh, that's
where
really
there
sweet.
was stranded. Yeah, it's an amazing festival.
It
So
feels
yeah,
like the town's entire like annual domestic product is probably just that festival for one weekend.
yeah, probably.
And everyone makes all the money they need to live the rest of the year.
And yeah, but sorry for that sidetrack. So, and then Diana said, my introduction to Canadian culture was due south. So yeah, Mounties.
Yeah, nice, Diana. A lot of Brits got it. I think it was like syndicated over in the UK because I dated a British
Yeah,
girl, and that was all she knew
we
about Canada as well, was due south. And the
we
raccoons. I don't know if you guys got the raccoons. The raccoons was an animated series about like these raccoons
in
living in
Germany
this
we got
forest, and there's like a pig guy who like wants to tear down the forest and
yeah,
pollute it all.
Snyder.
It's not. Oh,
I
you had
believe.
so you had the raccoons too. That's so cool.
Yeah, I watched it.
Fuck, I love the
It's
raccoons.
one of my favorite shows. I didn't know it was Canadian.
Did you
So,
guys have the authentic theme song though? The "Run with Us." See the passion in your eyes. Come with us. We are
I don't
free.
think so.
It's a banger, man.
The problem is a lot of stuff we get over here in Germany is dubbed. So
It's dubbed? Okay,
that's
wait. I'm
my
going to find the Raccoons theme song because this is a really important piece of Canadiana that you all need to. I don't think I can play it on here because I don't know if I'll get like
yeah, it's probably
copyright struck or something.
Yeah.
Shit. Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Still here?
Sorry.
Okay. Don't worry, Chad. We are going to get to your questions. Answers, rather.
Sorry, I just got a call from the Thai restaurant. They're like, your order's ready for pickup. I'm like, it's not supposed to be ready till 5:30. She's like, did you tell them to not make it ready till 5:30? I'm like, yes, I told them to not make it ready till 5:30. She's like, oh, okay, let me check. I'm like, okay, I guess the food's cold. But sorry.
Don't worry.
Did not expect that. So the song is by Matt Fischel.
I mean,
I'll put it in the chat.
I believe Dark Angel was also filmed in Canada, which was a sci-fi series with what's
I
her
don't know
name?
that one.
Yeah, it's a sci-fi series with
Was it Alyssa? What's her name?
not Eliza. It was the girl from Sin City. I don't remember her name. I'm
Not
really
Jessica
bad
Alba.
with
No.
names.
Jessica Alba? No?
Jessica Alba. That
Okay.
was the name.
She was in Sin City?
Yeah.
Got
She
that.
was the
The dancer?
the hooker. Yeah, the
Sex
dancer
worker?
in the yeah, the sex worker.
Oh my god, sorry, this Thai
bar.
restaurant's calling me again. One sec.
Yeah.
Well, that feels wasteful. Now they're preparing a new one for 5:30.
Well, you probably give it to someone else that's
Hope so.
also ordering.
Hope so.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember that one because they had it was also set in Toronto, I believe.
It was set in Toronto, or it was filmed in Toronto?
I believe it was set in Toronto. They
Okay,
had
that's impressive. Like that never
Space
happens.
Needle and stuff like that. I remember a shot of her sitting on top of the Space Needle to contemplate.
So it's called the CN Tower, but I'll forgive you.
Okay.
Space Needle is Seattle, I think.
Could also be LA. I'm not sure.
Don't think it's LA.
It's the one with the spinning thing, spinning
Yeah,
top
yeah,
thingy.
yeah. Yeah, that's the CN Tower, named after the Canadian National Railway, because apparently they paid to build it. Fortunately, we haven't sold the naming rights to some billionaire yet, so so it's pretty phallic. And then we had our baseball stadium built right beside it, which used to be called the Sky Dome. And then some rich billionaire bought the naming rights, but it will always be the Sky Dome as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what the heck I'm doing with this other egg. And also my epoxy putty is getting like weirdly dry, so we'll see what I manage. Kind of want to replicate this like stretched skin, something like that. We'll see what I can manage.
Yeah, I would turn this into like a rose, just with chitin plates.
No, I want it to be more interesting than that.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh yeah,
more
other
from the
Canadian
chat.
stuff.
Yeah, Flintheimer said so many American shows are filmed in Canada rather than the US. And yes, I know about that one myself too.
Yeah, that's because we give them tax breaks. And because so many American shows have been filmed here over the years, there's a big ecosystem of like Canadian, like Toronto-based film crews, studios, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, The Expanse was filmed here. One of my favorite shows. Part of the new Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein was filmed here. Parts that were on like the ship, I think. And maybe some of the studio stuff, the stuff that wasn't filmed in Edinburgh. The Strain, Guillermo del Toro's campy vampire show, which I like. It was filmed here.
I don't think it was campy. It was a cool
It's
vampire
pretty
show.
campy.
Okay. Electro Dust Bunny said he has 3 Canadian friends and all of them are nice.
Cool. But what do you know about Canadian
Jan-
culture, Electro Dust Bunny? This is what we want to hear. What have you heard?
And Diana said she knows about the salmon fishing.
Salmon fishing. Oh, that's a bit of a deep cut. Nice.
I mean, I imagine that you share a lot with Alaska in that regard.
Well, probably in British Columbia. That's probably where you're going to get more salmon.
So I imagine there will also be people that's running around with a panning dish to sift for gold in the rivers.
I think that was more up in the Yukon, maybe? The Gold Rush? I don't know.
I don't know.
Namesake for Yukon Cornelius, the character from the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing, if you watch that.
And I mean, yeah, you obviously also have all the Norwegian stuff like moose and bears and stuff like
True.
that.
We got that. That's for sure.
And probably Inuit and or whatever they are called in your region.
Inuit.
Yeah, then Diana said, I'm not allowed to watch ice hockey because it sends me into a bloodlust.
Okay, so here's a fun fact. This is something I learned when I dated my limey ex-girlfriend. It's just hockey. We just call it hockey. It's hockey. It's like when I was dating her and she's like, we're talking about the Olympics. And I'm like, which Olympics are you talking about? The Winter Olympics or the Summer Olympics? She's like, if I was talking about the Winter Olympics, I would have said Winter Olympics. But I said Olympics. The real Olympics. The ones that take place in the summer. I'm like, whoa, buddy. Easy there. So yeah, we don't have to call it ice hockey because no one talks about field hockey here. We talk about hockey, it's on ice, and if someone says the other one, they will specifically say field hockey. So that's a Canadianism right there.
And Diana said you have decent health service.
Getting worse all the time, just like everywhere else in the world. And constantly a threat of being privatized, especially these days. Because it's pretty, our health system is pretty publicly delivered, publicly funded, publicly delivered, but everyone is always trying to privatize more and more of it.
Same here.
Yeah.
They are also complaining a lot about not enough, having not enough money and whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flynn said Canadians say a lot.
Oh, there we go. There's the stereotypes. This is what I was hoping for.
Which in Victorian times was normally said at the end of a sentence, apologizing for speaking so long and maybe boring the listener. So Canadians
really?
can't
I didn't know
say
that.
sorry.
I didn't know that origin story.
I didn't know that one either. And Tom Wilson said, police ride horses. You all eat poutine?
They do. We do have, like, there's, of course, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which everyone knows about, the ones with the red jackets and the brown hats. But we also have, like, cops on horses. But doesn't everyone have cops on horses, or is that just, like, a Canadian thing?
No, it's not a Canadian thing.
Like, in cities, like, a lot of times police will use horses because they're good at crowd control. A human will, like, mess with a cop or another human, but a human will not mess with a horse. They're, like, afraid of horses. And horses are big and heavy, so their bodies are, like, natural barriers.
I mean, I'm not certain. I don't think we have mounted police like that. But
I thought everyone did, but maybe not.
But I know England is famous for having horses, and I know America has horse-ridden police on horses. So
I would hope so, because another movie that was filmed in Toronto was Half-Baked. And if anyone's seen Half-Baked, there's a mounted police officer in there, and something unfortunate happens to their horse. That's very much set in the United States, but shot in Canada. So I hope you have. What's that?
Tom Wilson continues with, you all eat poutine, and I personally don't know what poutine is, but I think it's French fries.
Yeah, with what?
I have no idea.
It's French fries with cheese curds on it, which is like really springy part of the cheese making process. However, if you're in Quebec, where poutine comes from, because it's a French-Canadian dish, you call the cheese la fromage squeak squeak, otherwise known as squeaky cheese.
Okay. That went a direction I didn't expect.
Yep. So yeah, you put cheese curds on the French fries, and then you cover them in gravy.
Okay.
So the cheese curds melt. And that is poutine.
I'll have to try that someday.
It's good. Just gotta get you to Canada. I don't know where I would take you for good poutine. I'd have to do some research, because I haven't had it a lot lately. Like, you can get it like normal, like, fast food outlets, but if you're gonna, like, try Canadian poutine for the first time, we gotta take you someplace good. Ideally, we take you to Quebec, but that's a little far. That's like a 5-hour drive.
I'd much rather try the natto.
Natto is Japanese. I can get you. I have natto in my fridge right now. What?
Yeah, I know you have. I know you've been eating it, but I'm curious about that. And
okay, well,
it's not like I'm getting to Japan.
Well, that's the best part of Canada, or like, no, that's the best part of Toronto, is that you can also eat whatever food you want from whatever country of the world as well, because we have a lot of different cuisines here, which is cool.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So we can get you some natto. I have it in my fridge. I can buy it at the convenience store. It's a ways over from here.
Yeah, and Tom Wilson continues, it snows all day. And
this is true? Not right now. We do get a lot of snow.
So you even get snow in summer and stuff like that?
No, it doesn't snow in the summer. Although we did have snow. Did it snow a week ago? A week and a half ago in April? But usually it stops
Yeah,
snowing in March.
in Germany we have a poem, a German poem about how unpredictable April is,
Yeah.
and it also references snow, like going sledding in April. So
Yeah.
and Tom Wilson continues: smooth in your front and backyard, and you need to watch out for polar bears.
So what Tom Wilson is doing is he's making all the jokes that Canadians make about Americans. The joke is Americans come here and they expect to go skiing in the middle of July because they don't actually know much about Canada, and they're told that it's snowy all the time. I don't know if these people actually exist, but this is the stereotype that we have for folks visiting Canada and being uninformed about what Canada's all about. Like that's what he's hitting on here.
Yeah, he continues with, you say about instead about.
Boot.
Yeah. And he ends with all said extremely tongue in cheek.
All right. There's a Canadian YouTuber. I think he's got like nearly 1 million subscribers, and he talks about like politics and stuff like that. I can't remember his name, but one of the YouTubers who I like said that this was like one of their favorite YouTubers. I looked him up. He's okay, but I swear to God, he puts on the about thing. Like, guy talks like totally normally, and then when he has to say about, I feel like he goes like a boot, like intentionally. That kind of weirded me out. Oh man, I screwed up. This epoxy sculpt is not sticking. I don't know if I can. It's getting too hard. I don't know if I can make this work. I got to give up the ghost on that one. This one's okay.
I mean, worst comes to worst. Let it harden and glue it on.
What's that?
Let it harden and glue it on. Back
No.
on. Like,
I can't get the detail into it that I want. It's too hard.
okay.
Like it's not taking detail very well. And that's, I'm just going to curse that later, so I might as well just get rid of it.
And we continue with Diana chiming in again with, it has a beautiful, beautiful countryside.
Beautiful what?
Canada. Countryside.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
From what I learned, it's you have highly urbanized areas, like, and then lots of wilderness. That's basically how it was explained to me.
Yeah, so there's this statistic, and I can't remember the exact statistic, but it's something like 90% of the Canadian population or 80% of the Canadian population lives within 100 to 200 kilometers of the United States border. So like if you're ever looking at a map of Canada, and you're looking at the whole thing, just picture like a heat band right along the southern end of the country. That's where basically everyone lives. And then there are of course folks living like in like Nunavut and like Northwest Territories, Yukon, but the populations are like far, far smaller than the southern, more urbanized regions. And like it's not like the whole southern end of the country is urbanized because it's a really big country. But like those pockets of dense urbanization are in that band at the southern end of the country, very close to the United States. Of course, because until 2025, Canada's #1 trading partner has been the United States. So, yeah, we a lot of our cities developed in close proximity to the United States because like that's where a lot of business was being done, a lot of trade was coming from. But yeah, the vast majority of the country is uninhabited. Right, I think I'm gonna have to call the stream there because I gotta clean up a little bit, and my cousin will be heading over soon. But here's what we accomplished on the first side.
One final question, and we have everything.
Yeah.
And Electro Dust Bunny asks, and I'm going to butcher this one, aren't Nana Imo bars from Canada?
Nanaimo, yes. Nanaimo bars are from Canada, and I'm impressed that you know about Nanaimo bars. I didn't know that they actually like made it to the US or anything. Nanaimo bars are named for a city on Vancouver Island here in British Columbia near Vancouver. They are freaking delicious. I love them. They're very sweet. Very sweet. They're like, they have like a chocolate cookie and coconut. They're squares. Like you make them in like a square dish and then you cut them up. They have a chocolate cookie and coconut base, and then you put a kind of like sweet vanilla custard on top of that, and then you pour like milk chocolate on top of that and let it harden like a chocolate bar, and that's what seals in the top. And then you cut them up, and they're filthy delicious. But yes, they are. As far as I know, they're from Canada.
So they're like the cremino.
Pardon?
From Italy. Cremino from Italy.
I think so. I think they're similar to those. That's probably what they were inspired by. All right, I gotta call it. Here's what I got done so far. I got one side of the little egg. I gotta figure that out, but I'm very happy about what's going on with the big egg here. And I will keep on trucking on the next... Oh, I was gonna put Devourers on this, but I guess I don't really have room now, but whatever. Hi, John. Thank you so much for joining up.
Yeah, sure. My pleasure.
Yep. And I will speak to you... What's that?
I believe we're on Wednesday.
Yes. So we'll see everyone on Wednesday for the Work in Progress Wednesday stream. I haven't scheduled it yet, but I will. Oh, Tyler Blevins is here. Hello, Tyler. I know there's far more trains in Canada than in the US. I don't think that's accurate. I think that simply by nature of like how much of the US is developed, and like how big the US population is, I think you guys have more trains than us. Like, again, talking about how, oh shit, my cousin's literally here. I gotta run. Okay, guys, talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry, Kajan, I gotta run.
Yeah. Take care. Have fun.